Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope for March 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign first, then your sun sign, and finally your moon sign. So I'm going to break March down into 4 weeks. I'm going to have a look at how the moon moves through your chart, what areas of your life it supports you, and when. So, week one, or the first 9 days of the month, really, Saturday the 1st until Sunday the 9th of March. On the 1st of March, we have the moon in Pisces, and that's really the tail end of a new moon in Pisces that we had on the 27th of February. So, a new moon is when the moon goes pitch black. It pulls a lot of energy in order to recharge itself for its next 28-day cycle. And the moon has been in Pisces on the 27th of February, 28th of February, and here on the 1st of March. And in your case, Sagittarius, it's in your fourth house of family and roots. So expect very few conflict or disagreement, or very few kind of friction between you and other people during this time, mainly because you're so placid and forgiving. On the 1st of March as well, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that goes retrograde until the 12th of April 2025. And I usually mention that it's not the best time to start a new business or a new relationship during a Venus retrograde, because your perception of what you love is kind of off. The moon moves on into Aries on the 2nd and 3rd of March. It joins Venus in Aries in retrograde. And we've also got Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, sitting in that 5th house of what you love. So what that's going to do, it's going to encourage you to consider or to look at the things that you have loved to do in your life, whether that's hobbies or relationships or careers that you've given up on for whatever reasons, societal pressures or time constraints or whatever it may have been, and to revisit those and to heal the situation by bringing those things back into your life. On the 3rd of March as well, we have Mercury, the communication planet, that ingresses into Aries, and it joins Venus and the moon and Chiron in that 5th house. Now, Mercury in Aries is very forthright, it's very direct, it's very interested in using communication in order to overcome obstacles. So at the beginning of the month here, you'll move away from this sense of family harmony and everything is as it should be, and the focus comes back to you, and it says, what did you really enjoy in the past that you've let go of? Bring that back into your life. The moon then moves on into Taurus on the 4th and 5th of March, and it goes into your 6th house of work and daily routine and structures, and it sits next to Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected, also in Taurus. So that's kind of similar in the sense that if there have been certain things that you did in your everyday life that you've let go of, this is about rolling up your sleeves and saying, how can we bring this back in? We're not just overcoming obstacles, we're actually doing the legwork to make this happen again. And with Uranus sitting there, expect the results to be better than you could have even imagined. On the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into Gemini, and it moves into your 7th house of relationships, where it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet. So for you, this is a good time again for relationships. It's interesting because Venus is in retrograde. As far as all of the signs of the zodiac are concerned, I think you as a Sagittarius are least impacted by that, because during the 6th and 7th, it's even safe and good for you to start new relationships, because the influence of that Venus retrograde has been mitigated to a certain degree. Then on the 8th and 9th, the moon goes into Cancer. It goes into your 8th house of institutions and authorities. This is a good time to take care of any paperwork, any officialdom, any bureaucracy, visa applications, manuscript submissions. You'll be able to do those well. And also on the 8th of March, during the month, that's the best time to view Mercury in the night sky if you're a stargazer. So look at the sky very low in the west just after sunset, and you'll see Mercury kind of twinkling at you. And that's interesting because it's in your fifth in Aries, and then also with that moon in Cancer, anything that requires communication, so filling out forms, it will encourage you to do that very easily and very quickly and very well. But also with it sitting in your fifth house, it says do more of what you love on top of the obligations that you have. Bring in things that you genuinely care about, especially things from the past. So in this first 9 days of the month, the moon starts in your fourth house of family, and it ends up in your eighth house. So that's very much the right hand side of your chart. And that is, what have I got in my life? Where are there certain areas of emptiness? And how can I fill those, ideally with things that are familiar to me, that I've already enjoyed in the past? And also because you're a Sagittarius and you had that Jupiter Gemini, Moon and Gemini connection, Jupiter being your ruler, I think it can even be, if I am longing for a new relationship, I think it's safe for you to start new relationships. I know that may be controversial. Let me know what you think in the comments. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 10th to the 16th of March. On the 10th, 11th, and 12th, the moon is in Leo, and it's in your 9th house of travel, education, and the higher realms. So what will be fun for you during this 3-day period is to go on trips if you're able, to study something new, or to try connections to the higher realms. Also, if you're required to present yourself, if you need to do any public speaking, or to present yourself for job interviews, or you want to pitch something in order to get investment, that's a 3-day period where you really put your best foot forward, and it's easy for you to influence other people in the way you want. Then the moon moves into Virgo on the 13th and 14th, and it goes into your 10th house of career, which is really good news for your job if you're working, or if you're a student or retired, what you're working towards. Because Virgo is about analysis, it's about making sense of things and getting organized. And particularly on the 14th of March, we have a lunar eclipse on the south node. That's a full moon in Virgo. And the influence of an eclipse can be felt for 6 months. So with the moon in Virgo in that 10th house, you'll be on top of things as far as your existing work is concerned. Anything that needs doing over the next 6 months, you'll know how to get the right information, how to implement that, what is useful, what isn't useful. But also on a more personal level, if you're trying to make a decision about your work, is this the right position for me? Should I be doing something else? You'll be able to assess that, come up with meaning for yourself without consulting with everybody else, and to say, do you know what, it's time for a job change if I'm no longer happy in this position. And then you have till August to kind of ride that wave, because it's going to stay with you. The moon moves on into Libra on the 15th and 16th, and it goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and it opposes Venus in retrograde in your 5th and Mercury in Aries in your 5th. So these 2 days, again, I think you're the exception, because I think this is a good time to connect with your own hopes and dreams, to realize what it is you want, what's most important to you. But again, I think it's a good time for you to start new relationships if that's something that you want. And let's see, then on the 15th of March, we have Mercury, the communication planet, going retrograde. Now, when Mercury goes retrograde, expect complications with communication and transportation. That's the downside. The plus side is that when Mercury is retrograde, you're able to see things very differently. You're able to consider perspectives and ways of looking at the world that are different than you usually would. And if you combine that then with it sitting 3 degrees away from Venus in retrograde, you may be open to very new relationships, or pursuing very different hopes and dreams that have just occurred to you. Usually, again, under normal circumstances, I would say avoid new relationships, new businesses during these kinds of periods. But for you, it's stepping outside of your comfort zone and letting the universe bless you with something that you would have never expected or considered. So week 2, the moon started on the 10th in your 9th house, and it ends up in your 11th house. And that's the top half of your chart. And that's very much, who am I when I am at my most conscious, at my most useful? What is it that would give me a sense of reward? What's fun? Where am I very skilled? Where am I very good and useful and productive? And how can I bring more of those things into my life? So really straightforward and very focused on what you want so far. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 17th to 23rd of March. The moon is still in Libra on the 17th. It's the same as before, realizing hopes and dreams, openness to relationships. It then goes into Scorpio on the 18th and 19th of March, and it sits in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength next to Vesta in Scorpio. And that's wonderful because it means that on a spiritual level, you're able to connect in a very, very deep, meaningful way. And again, I would say it mitigates the influences of Venus and Mercury in retrograde so that you're unlikely to get the wrong end of the stick. So again, let me know if you disagree, but I think it's time for you, if you have the desire to start a new business or a new relationship, to do that this month, and the 18th and 19th are great days for it. The moon moves on into Sagittarius, your sign, on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Expect a great sense of well-being during those days, but also in your first house of self, you have Juno sitting there in Sagittarius, and that's happiness and that's ease and it's endless summer. So these are 3 days where it would be great for you to do anything that you enjoy, to make your inner child happy, to go on trips, to study things that are unfamiliar to you, to even revisit places that you love being near in your childhood, anything that makes you happy, basically. On the 20th of March as well, the sun enters Aries and it moves into your 5th house of love and romance. And the sun in Aries is very much about, I'm the first sign of the zodiac. I have the whole day ahead of me. Obstacles are not, they are optional, right? So I don't have any problems as far as what I'm wanting to achieve here. I can do whatever it is I want, and difficulties are a natural part of the process, and I accept that. So again, that supports you in really pursuing anything that would signal more joy, more happiness coming into your life. On the 20th of March, we have the spring equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's the autumn equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere. And regardless of location, this is the day of the year where there's nearly equal amounts of daylight and nighttime. So it's night and day, black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. And because things are so cut and dry, and you have all of these positive influences, if something seems to be good, if something is worth pursuing, then please give yourself permission to do that, because you're not going to be misled. Then on the 23rd, we have the moon going into Capricorn, and that extends into week 4. It stays in Capricorn on the 24th, and it goes into your 2nd house of money on the 23rd and stays there on the 24th. So these 2 days are good for work again, getting things done, but it's also a 2-day period where you can work on your income. And if that's something that you want to increase or change, or you want to start a side gig, or you want to do something on top of your existing job or ask for a promotion, these are 2 days that really support this. So week 3, the moon started on the 17th in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and it ended up on the 23rd in your 2nd house of money, and that's the left hand side of the chart. So this is who I really am. I know what I want. I deserve good things. I have desires for my life, certain ways of being. I feel spiritually supported. I see through nonsense. So anything that I want, I'm going to go after, I'm going to pursue, and it'll pay off. So I think you're the exception in the zodiac here in March, Sagittarius. Week 4, Monday to Monday, the 24th to the 31st of March. On the 24th, the moon is still in Capricorn. Then on the 25th and 26th, it goes into Aquarius and it joins Pluto and Pallas in Aquarius in your third house of communication. So this is great for teaching. It's great for writing, communicating anything that you feel is going to be of service to other people. It's a great time to start a charity or a foundation. Again, I know Venus is still in retrograde, but for you, I think this is an opportunity to give life to something that stems from your own wisdom, from your own experience of life, and that you're able to put out into the public sphere. So if you're interested in that kind of activity, please feel free to pursue it, particularly on these 2 days. Then on the 27th and 28th, the moon goes back into Pisces in your 4th house. So it's great for decompressing, spending time with loved ones. Don't expect any conflict or arguments. On the 27th of March, Venus, because it's retrograde, it ingresses back into Pisces. And on the 29th, Mercury does the same thing. It's in retrograde, so it moves back into Pisces. And they all move back into your 4th house of your roots and your family. So you're going to feel a great sense of support from other people, but also a great sense of, I have both feet firmly planted on the ground. If I have an idea to do something, regardless of retrogrades and this and that, I'm safe and good to pursue those things. I'm on top of my game here, and I can build and create whatever it is I want. So if there's anything in your life that you want to manifest, Sagittarius, really put your all into it this month. I really don't think the retrogrades are going to cause you any issues. Then on the 29th and 30th, we have the moon going back into Aries, and it joins Mercury. You're transiting midheaven and Chiron in Aries in that 5th house. Particularly on the 29th of March, we have a solar eclipse on the North Node, and that's a new moon in Aries. So again, the moon is pitch black, but the process is interrupted via the eclipse. So the effects will last and will be felt for 6 months until August. And a new moon in Aries is pulling in this fire energy of the first sign of the zodiac, and it's in your 5th house of what you love. So if I love to communicate, if I love to play cricket, if I love to be in relationship, if I love to start new businesses, if I love to heal, if I love to play the piano, it really doesn't matter. I'm the boss, and you will feel that really until August, that things can almost not touch you. There's a sense of invincibility here. There's a sense that obstacles are nothing. And really, Sagittarius, not only is March the month for you to make major progress, but until August, I really think there's no stopping you. On the 30th, we've got Neptune, the planet of dreams and the subconscious. That's been in the sign that it rules Pisces for a long, long time. And now it goes into Aries and it joins all of the energy you have in your 5th house. So it's time to make dreams a reality. And then you end the month on the 31st with the moon going back into Taurus in your 6th house. So again, expect the unexpected, expect the miraculous. As far as the structures of your life are concerned, you've been doing all this work, expect something good to be returned to you, whether that's a financial windfall or a wonderful new relationship or something that surprises you in any way, the offer to go on a trip, anything like that. I think really this is your month to do as you please and then to be rewarded for that attitude. So let's see, the final week, the 24th, the moon started in Capricorn in your 2nd and it ended up in your 6th. So that's the bottom of your chart. And that's really, I have really strong roots. I know where I belong. I know who I am. And therefore, like a tree, I can grow in any direction I want. And it's time for me to bloom and thrive and flourish. So for you, spring really does come early. We have the equinox on the 20th, but this is really your time to put everything that you've hoped for and dreamed for into action, to do the legwork to make it a reality, and then to watch all the wonderful things ripen and come into your life. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. It looks like an amazing month for you, Sagittarius. I hope you have a great time. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, that's not the end of the world. I can use sunrise, but it means the ascendant and the house placements are incorrect. There's a process called chart rectification where you send me 10 or more significant life events, and I can manually work out your time of birth, and that makes it much more accurate. Once I have your natal charts in front of me, it's like a blueprint of who you are. It shows me vocational aptitudes, family relationships, life purpose, spiritual development, friendships, connections with the authorities and institutions. It's a wonderful character profile. If you want to see what's coming up in future, I look at the progress chart and the transits, and if it's around your birthday, I also do a solar return chart. That's often very useful. And if you have any questions around location or moving, I look at the astrocartography, which shows me what parts of the world are going to work for you and which ones aren't. So if you're interested in any of that, please get in touch for a personal reading via gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That helps it show up in searches. Subscribe for more videos in future. And if you think anyone else would enjoy watching this video, please share it with them. That's how the channel grows. Have a wonderful March, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.